Coaching for Performance was founded on Timothy Galloway's work. He was a tennis coach. He wrote the Inner Game of Tennis. When he discovered the inner game and started practicing it in tennis, a different way of coaching, um, he saw like tremendous results. And then he wrote the book, and he expected it to just sell a few copies, and it became a bestseller. Then he wrote the inner game of skiing, inner game of golf, and finally he realized that it would work in the business world. He wrote the inner game of work. And so I was reading through that yesterday, and this whole performance equation, which is, well, let me ask a question. Who can tell me what the performance equation is? Performance equals potential minus interference, right?
Yeah.
So part of the challenge in leadership is that you don't believe in your people. You don't you don't ever give them the chance to succeed and perform and move to the next level because you've already judged them, or you observe their behavior and then judge them, right? And so understanding that every human being is born to win, designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, endowed with the seeds of greatness. They are a phenomenal product, created to be phenomenal, do phenomenal things, have a phenomenal life. That's everybody. That's every human being. Now, they may or may not be trained enough to do a specific job. They might not be functional enough. But if you have the right person and you believe in that person, it's going to show up. If you don't believe that in them, that's going to show up too. It's going to show up in how you treat them. Zig Ziglar said that we treat people the way we see them. If we see people as a number, you'll treat them as a number. If you see them as a valuable human being, you'll treat them as a valuable human being. Even if you don't have, even if you don't continue to have the opportunity to work with them, they're still valuable. You can literally coach someone out of your company. You can literally terminate someone, but still have a great relationship, because it's not about the work relationship. It's not about our personal relationship. It's all about performance. Because in order to for the company to win, we have to perform. We have to perform financially, and all the other stats lead to that financial performance, whether we're on time, whether we actually deliver properly, if we have to go back to a job, if we have to redo something, if we have to give a refund, if we have to um, spend time and effort fixing stuff. Everything that happens in your company ends up being a profit or a loss. Everything. Training or the lack of training is going to show up somewhere. So the company has to perform financially in the end, and then before that, all the functions have to perform. So marketing has to perform, sales has to perform, operations has to perform, and then and that's going to end up with your profit, your financial performance. And what comes before all of that is leadership. What culture have we built? What training have we done? How are we doing on, attracting the right people and hiring the right people? So it all shows up. What this is about is becoming a phenomenal coach. And the better you are as a coach, the better you're gonna attract the better people. You're gonna attract the right people. They're gonna have the right, you're gonna be on the same page. And then throughout the training process, throughout the um the employment experience, and because of that, they will help you create the right culture. When everybody has this coaching mindset, then you create a phenomenal culture, which then causes other people to want to come to work for your company, right? So you start coaching when you meet somebody. Like I start coaching before I even know that this person is maybe even a valuable candidate. And even if I don't have if they're a valuable candidate, I start coaching them and recruiting them before I even need them. That way you got a bench out there. I'm not offering them a job. I'm just having the conversation of, hey, um, I'm always looking for good people. What's your story? What do you do? Are you happy? What are your goals? That's coaching. That's coaching. What I want you guys to do, all right, I want you to write down an individual who has had a very positive impact on your life. Then I want you to think about and write down what they do that you like so much. In other words, what was their attitude toward you? What was their behavior toward you? And how did it make you feel about yourself? Just take a minute to jot those things down. Recall an individual who had a very positive impact on you. What did they do that you like so much? What was their attitude toward you, their behavior toward you? You know, this program was developed in the UK or Canada when behavior is spelled that way. Um, how did you feel about yourself? I'll give you guys an example. Some of you met my mentor, Bill Beckham. The first person, probably in my life, at least that I recall, that said, Howard, you have a gift. Now, I was not the only one that he said that to. He said that to probably everybody that he mentored because he understood that everybody has a gift. In other words, everybody has potential. And he made me feel valued. He made me feel important. So you may have felt this way, and this is how I felt. And then I realized that the culture of the organization where I met Bill, that this was part of the culture, that other people, in fact, there was one uh, guy in particular, one of the pastors, who had a tremendous impact on Denise's life. He was non-judgmental, he was fun. And so that person's impact, when someone inspires you like that, they make you feel special. They make you feel valued and confident, and your self-belief, your self-image improves, and you feel safe sharing with them. This is the other thing that I was reading yesterday in the inner game of work, and that is that part of the coaching process, uh just Josh, this is, you know, a good representation of what you're talking about, is that we don't judge the we don't judge the the internal dialogue. We don't accept it. We don't reject it. We just kind of stand beside it and look at it and go, huh, that's interesting. What if we could step out of our outside of ourselves and go, yeah, that was interesting. I wonder where that came from. Because he said that the tennis players would see the ball as the enemy. Like, this ball is coming over fast. I'm just like, but when they didn't judge it, they just observed it, they again would respond naturally. Do people need training? Yes, they need training. Okay. But when you're coaching people, um, and letting them uh, give you feedback of how it felt, what they experienced, and so on and so forth, you're going to get farther down the road. So the qualities, the behaviors, and attitudes typically of an inspiring person is they treated me as an equal. They listened to my point of view. They believed that I could. They challenged me. Bill challenged me. He challenged me, but he didn't judge me. He didn't condemn me. I was had a very religious spirit, and sometimes it still pops up every now and then. I see things in extreme black and white sometimes, and there's no possible way that anything other than this could be the truth. So, but I'm aware of it, and it's not as severe as it used to be. He brought fun and enthusiasm, cared about me, supported me. That man came to my office every week and prayed with me for no other reason than just to be my pastor. And there were several pastors in this church, but he was just the one that I really resonated with. And someone like that, you feel that they trusted you, they respected you, and they gave you the time and full attention. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to be that person for someone else. You inspire people by the way you treat them. If they can't learn, they're in the wrong position, you made a mistake in hiring them, they're not helping the team perform, and you have to let them go, they're stuck, or whatever, they will still be inspired by the way that you walk through that with them. Does that make sense? If you treat them well, if you treat them right. Hope I'm making sense today.